All right, everybody, welcome to episode 2 of the Filmtastic4 podcast. I'm Sean, and I'm joined by my wonderful co hosts, KB, Jalen, and Caleb. Today, we're going to start off by talking about how we got into Film Talk or posting on Film Talk and film in general. I'll start off. So, as a young child, I've always really enjoyed going to the cinema. It's always been one of my favorite trips out. And my dad's like a not a film bro, but he likes, the dad movies, and he introduced me to the likes of The Shawshank Redemption, The Godfather, Goodfellas, and more like that. So he got me into like the basic films, and then I did start following like George on TikTok, and there was one other account, Top List 69. I'm actually friends with that guy, Robert, and he used to post lists and edits, and that got me more into film. And then eventually, in around 2021 of April, I decided I wanted to be a part of it. So I started off by posting edits. So I did that for around a year, and then in I think July of 2022, I was like, I kind of got sick of posting edits, so I was like, I may as well. I wanted to like start talking in my videos. So I think my first video where I actually showed my face and I was talking was around July of 2022, and since then it's been pretty fun. Yeah. So KB, do you want to go next?
So, like you, my father is kind of a film bro. He likes the dad films as well. So he also introduced me to the likes of The Godfather. Mainly, he loves Al Pacino, so I got introduced to The Godfather, Carlito's Way, Scent of a Woman, mainly, and then got into other movies as well. I started writing reviews on Instagram in 2020, so beginning of COVID. And then after that, I wasn't getting the feedback that I wanted from my reviews on Instagram. So I thought maybe if I move to TikTok, I'll find a better community of people to interact with. And as you can see, all four of us are here right now, so I was right.
Yeah.
That's when I started filming on TikTok. At first, I was doing like dumb trends and turning them into movie related stuff. But then after that, I was getting a lot of like more views than now. But then after that, I just decided to stick to what I wanted to do. I'm getting less views now, but I'm fine with that as long as I'm doing what I love.
Okay, Jalen, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I started similar around the same time you did, Sean, but I did August of 2022. I was always up on Film Talk, like seeing things, even like movie collections and all that. I forgot who I would follow first. I don't know. This was a while ago, but I was just doing dumb stuff on TikTok, just random things like songs that are like in 3x speed and you're moving super fast. But then I came across a film tag and I'm like, 3,000 views. Hold on, let me start doing this. And then I started doing 30-day film challenges from August 2022 to November. Yeah, to November. And then just growing since then. Started watching more and more movies since I joined Film Talk and all that. I've been enjoying it ever since.
Yeah, I've seen you've been posting on your TikTok the memories from like a year ago, the 30-day film challenges. So it seems to be doing pretty well for you.
Mm-hmm. Even if the views, I'm not even here for the views. I'm not gonna lie, TikTok is kind of BS with me right now.
It's quite bad with the views right now. It's poor enough. Even looking at like my analytics in general, it says like any videos I put up, it says 99% of the views are coming from like For You page or something, then followers it's like 1%.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's weird, but it is what it is. As long as you're having fun posting videos, that's all I really care about.
Yeah.
The views are kind of just give, they should come second to having fun first.
Mm-hmm.
And Caleb, want to go next?
Yeah. So starting off with how I got into film, I mean, growing up, I've always been known as the kid who really loved movies. I always talked about them. I always would learn like the ratings, who was in them. I just would know. And I took a little time to where I wasn't always super into movies. I mean, I always liked them, but there's times where like I loved music more than movies. But then when I started actually listening to Raiders of the Lost podcast and I got on TikTok and I saw them and the people like George Carmi and Sydney Volpe, those people, I was like, you know what, I might just start off trying to do some TikToks. And my first TikToks were just screenshots of my Letterboxd list, and I got some of those would get to like 100 likes, and I would get a ton of comments. So I was like, okay, like this is actually
Yeah.
something. But then I was like, I think I need to be more open to the audience. That's what people care about. They want to hear your opinions and what you think. So once I started doing that, you know, at first we probably all started. It's awkward. You're just talking to your phone screen,
Yeah.
and you're kind of like, you may be a little robotic. But then once you get it going, like now when I make one, I don't make them all the time because I don't post as much as y'all, but
Yeah.
when I do, I usually try to knock out 2 or 3, and I just get into that mode where it's a lot easier to talk
Yeah.
about movies. But yeah, that's how I got into it.
Yeah, because I remember when I was even starting, like the first video I posted, I think it took me like an hour to even just do it because I kept on having to like record again and again, just stuttering like all the time. But
Yeah.
like you're saying, once you post one or two, you just get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, same here. I usually would try and if I'm gonna like post videos, I normally record like 5 or 6 in one go and post one and put the rest to drafts because I think trying to record them on the go is a bit tough, especially if you're busy. But
Yeah.
I feel like when you record one, you're like, I'm gonna record a good few now just to
Yeah.
if you're in the
Some days you're like, some days you're just like, I don't want, like, at least I do. I'm like, I don't want to make anything. And then
yeah,
I'll go a
I
couple
agree.
days, and then I'm like, I'm at work or something. I'm like, I'm going to go home and make some TikToks because I've
Yeah.
been listening to podcasts, and I'm like, I need to talk about movies, you know?
Next on our agenda, we are going to be talking about our Letterboxd top fours. So I will start off. So my Letterboxd top four, it's Filmtok at 18, by the way. You will be able to find all of our socials and our Letterboxd in the link in the description. All of our socials are there, so follow us on all of them. So my Letterboxd top four is Children of Men, Warrior, In the Name of the Father, and Eternal Sunshine. So I'll start off with number one, Children of Men. I watched that this year for the first time, and it blew me away. I know it was very highly acclaimed before I watched it, so I went in with high expectations, and it was even above what I expected it to be. Some of them the one shot takes are outstanding, and the ending to the film gave me goosebumps as well. I've watched about 20 YouTube videos talking about the behind the scenes and just how masterful the movie was. And I can't wait to get into Alfonso Cuarón's more of his filmography. Then Warrior is my number two. That used to be my number one for a long time. I think it's the best sports movie ever made. I've loved it since I was a kid. I used to do boxing. I used to compete in boxing when I was younger, and obviously it's an MMA film, but it goes much deeper than that as well. I think it's Tom Hardy's best performance as well. But that was my number one for ages, and it's always been a favorite of mine, and I don't think it's ever going to go out of my top four. Then the next one is In the Name of the Father, more of an unknown film. Not too many people have. I think it has like 80,000 review or logs on Letterboxd, which is quite small.
Yeah.
It's Daniel Day-Lewis, so he's once again puts on an outstanding acting performance in that. It's about the troubles in Northern Ireland. It's based on a true story, and it's shocking what happens in the film, especially when you consider that it happened in real life. But it's just an amazing film and very well made. Then the last one is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It's my favorite romance film, and I think it's one of the best romance sci-fi ever made. Jim Carrey proves it again that he can be a serious actor as well as a comedic one, and I just can't get enough of that film. It blew me away the first time I watched it. I went in blind, and I was blown away. And I think Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey gave Oscar-worthy performances in in that film. So yeah, that's my top four. KB, if you want to go next.
So my top four, my first film is Frances Ha. It's a film directed by Noah Baumbach, starring Greta Gerwig, and written by both Baumbach and Gerwig. And the reason I love this movie is because Gerwig's character is very relatable. And I feel like anytime Gerwig and Baumbach work together, they come up with a masterpiece. And I feel like their chemistry, like with him behind the screen and her on the screen, is just unmatched. And they're a couple now, so it all makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
My second film is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. This is one of my favorite feel-good movies of all time. Whenever I need motivation, whenever I'm feeling down, I just put on this movie. I get a sense of reason in life. And I feel like this film pushes me to try new things, say yes to new experiences. I don't know if you've heard of the YouTube channel Yes Theory, but it's one of my favorite YouTube channels. And I feel like this film conveys the same message and idea as that YouTube channel. My third film is a film called Nostalgia by Andrei Tarkovsky. He's a Russian director, but it's a film in Italian. It deals with memories, and so it basically talks about a Russian poet who left Russia and was exiled to Italy. And the movie deals with a lot of like emotions and memories, and I feel like it touches me in a way that no other movie can. I had to watch this movie for a course at university, so I had to properly analyze it, and that's why I really like it. And the last film is Patterson, starring Adam Driver, who's, in my opinion, one of the best actors working right now and one of the best of his generation.
Mm-hmm.
And Patterson might seem like a boring movie for a lot of people because nothing really happens. It's just a week in the life of Patterson, the main character. And it deals with the mundane, but it's the little things in the mundane and the boring and the daily life that make life special. And that's why I love this movie.
That's a great top
Seen
four.
it, but it's on my watch list though.
So I watched
Some of
this.
the best movies are those movies where nothing happens, but
Mhm.
it is like, you know, before sunrise, before sunset.
Yeah.
Those movies are great. Jalen, do you want to go next?
Yeah, my top four right now is not my real top four. I do my top four based on what I watch per month. But if were to, I'll do my real top four because that top four is going to change in like 2 weeks. Yeah. But number one, I got to go with Upgrade, the Lee Winnell directed movie. Love that movie. If there's no Upgrade fans on Earth, I must be dead because I'm always riding off that movie. Number two, Django, favorite Tarantino movie. I saw that movie in theaters at 9 years old. I was kind of like, say, because like I forgot to mention in my how I got into TikTok. I've always been into movies. My dad wasn't the biggest like movie guy. Like, he took to the movies a lot, but not
same with my dad.
Not the cinema, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, that's one of them ones. And when I tell my friends it's one of my favorite movies, they be like, "Really?" Because my friends aren't into movies, so they see Django. I don't know. They think it's funny. I'm like,
I mean, yeah, it's funny, but it's probably the best revenge movie ever. Yeah. I mean, seeing the
Western as well.
Jimmy Fox is goated in that.
They just don't get it. They just don't get it. But
you don't get peak.
Exactly. Yeah. But number three, got to go with Scream. I'm a big horror guy. I've been a horror guy literally since I was like 6, 7 years old. So that's been one of the ones my whole entire life. And then my fourth spot was a big battle because I'm even on Letterboxd right now, still trying to choose, not going to lie. I could say Seven. I could say Knives Out. But right now, I'm feeling like saying Fantastic Mr. Fox. Favorite Wes Anderson movie. I don't know what it was, but when I was a kid, I didn't really care for it that much. But when I watched my senior year of high school, I'm like, yeah, everybody snap it up. This right here. This is that movie. Favorite Wes Anderson. It's a classic. And also the first movie I bought on Criterion, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that movie. I just rewatched that the other night, and I remember the first time watching that, I watched it in school, and I'd heard about it a lot, and I didn't know who Wes Anderson was. But my buddy, who's still one of my closest friends, loved that movie. So when I watched it, I was like, what is this? Like in elementary school. And then I rewatched it with him, and I was like, you know what? I really like this movie. This movie's good. I gave it a 4.5, and I always was just like, yeah, this is a good movie. Then I rewatched it the other night, and I'm like, I got to bump this up to a 5. Like, I'm a Wes Anderson guy now, and it's easily one of his best movies. And I would say probably his easiest movie to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, most
Like
university.
you could just turn that on, especially if you've seen it multiple times, and just have it on.
Yeah, 100%. I think I remember watching that in the cinema. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I did when I was younger, but like I hadn't rewatched it since. I only rewatched it a few months back, and it was amazing because I completely forgot about it. Like because I was much younger then,
Yeah.
but the movie is so good. Definitely, like you were saying, one of Wes Anderson's best.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the general consensus on that film is that you appreciate it more as an adult rather than a kid, even though it's
Yeah,
more
I
catered to kids. But I feel like adults appreciate this film more.
Yeah.
I read the book in 6th grade and watched the movie after reading the book. And prior to that, I seen it in kindergarten. As a 5-year-old, I'm kind of just watching it mindlessly. Then in middle school, I started getting the appreciation, comparing it to the book. But like you said, when you get older as an adult, because it's a lot of things that kids wouldn't get. They just hear what the cuss and be like, "Oh, fox! Oh my gosh!" You got to get the dialogue and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Kev, you want to go through your top 4?
Yeah. Same thing with Jalen. My top 4 is different right now because we're in October, so they're all spooky movies. But I'll go through the 4 that I would have. So my number 1 being Denis Villeneuve's Sicario. That is my favorite movie of all time. Truly one of the movies that, since like I said, I've always loved movies, but that was a movie that when I watched it, I was like, which was probably middle school. I was like, this is what movies can be, because I'd never seen a movie like that. Same thing with Prisoners. I watched those very close together, not knowing at the time it was the same director. And when I saw them both and knew that was the same director, I was like, this is my guy. But yeah, Sicario is a movie I've seen so many times now. It's a movie that I've showed people in my family, my friends, and they're just like, this is crazy. I think it has one of the best endings of all time. And Benicio del Toro is maybe my favorite role of anybody in a movie. He's just so mysterious. And once you've seen that movie multiple times, you can really see how conflicted he is as a character. But then my second one was my favorite movie of all time growing up, and that is The Dark Knight from Christopher Nolan. That is my favorite comic book movie of all time. And it's one of the movies that, when people say they'd watch a movie and right when they're done, they'll rewatch it again. Dark Knight is one of the only movies I've ever done that. And that was probably at my peak time where I was just like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And then you kind of fall, you still love it, and it's still one of my favorites. But then I kind of got a distaste a little bit because so many people are like, it's overrated, or, Christopher Nolan isn't traditional to Batman and comics and blah, blah, blah. But then rewatching it in the theaters not too long ago, it really just reaffirmed that, like, no, this is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. And I get why people say it's a Joker movie, which we get a ton of Joker, and he's the best performance in the movie. But that still kind of pissed me off because Christian Bale, Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, everybody's good in that. So that's my favorite comic book movie. And then my third movie is going to be another one that was one of my favorites growing up. And I feel like once you get older, you feel even more appreciation for, is The Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars. I've always been a Star Wars guy. I'm not the biggest Star Wars nerd. I have friends who are Star Wars nerds. I mean, they've seen Clone Wars, they've seen Rebels. I'm actually watching Clone Wars right now for the first time, so I'm not the biggest, like, I know everything about Star Wars, but Empire Strikes Back is my favorite. Last year I saw that in the theaters, and I was just like, again, this is the best Star Wars movie in my opinion. So yeah, I had to throw Star Wars in there. And then my fourth one is going to be Pulp Fiction from Quentin Tarantino. One of the movies in my high school years that I watched for the first time. And at that point, I knew who Tarantino was, and I liked Tarantino. But I feel like watching Pulp Fiction, I was like, yeah, Tarantino is one of my favorite directors, because at this point, I'd never seen a bad movie from him. And I just love Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta in that. And some people may not say it's rewatchable just because of some of the scenes that are in it, but for me, besides Once
I
Upon a
wouldn't
Time
see
in Hollywood, it's his most rewatchable because I just love Uma Thurman. I love Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta, everybody in that movie, Bruce Willis.
They did their thing.
But yeah, so like for me, like if you ask me, I have some Denis Villeneuve, I have Christopher Nolan, Tarantino, and then some Star Wars on there, and that really I would say kind of describes how I am with film right now.
Yeah. I think it was interesting. None of us had at least one of the same picks in our top four,
Yeah.
which is it's great to see. Yeah, they're all great top fours. Don't forget to follow all of our Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude, has y'all's Letterboxd been going up, like y'all's followers?
I sometimes get I think I get it could be from TikTok as well, but I do get like a decent. I think I almost get more followers like weekly on Letterboxd than I do on TikTok.
Me too, probably because right now, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot. Like it's hard to get followers on Letterboxd.
Yeah,
I'm at 260 right now, and when I hit 250, I was really happy. But I feel like some people don't realize how hard it is to get followers on Letterboxd, unless you're, a Seth or a George Carmi. Like they just keep getting followers, but it's because they get the views on TikTok.
100%.
I think my problem is I have different handles on TikTok and Letterboxd because my TikTok handle is too big for Letterboxd. So I think that's my problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my Letterboxd handle is different as well. Because I think I got Letterboxd before I started making videos. So I think I have just below 400 followers on Letterboxd. But I think I get them more so just from like other reviews and lists and stuff because a lot of the followers that I see, I don't see like like TikTok stuff on it. So I think it's more so from that, but it definitely is hard to grow a following there compared to TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 231 right now, and I'll get notifications saying follow. Like, how are you finding it right now?
Yeah.
Well, I do make content, but I know you're wrong with this.
Then if I get like more than like 3 likes on a review, I'm like, yes.
I'll get 5. I'm like, everybody clap it up.
And sometimes someone will follow me on Letterboxd, and then I know who they're like their TikTok, like they're a film talker, and I'm like, why have I been following you, man? Like I didn't know you had a Letterboxd.
That'd be me. I'm looking at it right now. I found somebody.
The only person who likes my reviews is Caleb, so thanks, bro.
You're welcome, man. Yeah. I try to like everybody's, like sometimes I just get on there and
come on, I was feeling special.
Well, I just like to see, because some people, I'm sure there's some people that follow me and they never like my reviews. But there are a good amount of people that they're always on there. I mean, I'll just post a review and they're liking it. And I
there's 1 or 2 people that follow me that like consistently like every single one of my reviews. There's like 1 or 2 of them people. It's like, yeah, they're a real one.
Yeah, and they're going and liking my lists and stuff, and I'm like,
as well. People like your list.
I feel like it's kind of hard though because so many people.
That's when they've been looking for your profile.
Yeah,
I feel like it's hard because there's so many people posting at once, and if you follow over 100 people, everybody can't fit on that little thingy thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I used to follow before I was making talking videos on TikTok. I used to follow like everybody on Letterboxd. Like people I didn't even like know. Like whoever would follow me, I'd follow back, and it was like it was getting close to like 500 people. But like I'd never see anyone's reviews. It would just be like random. So I was like kind of filtered it out just to like people I knew, and then like it's just easier to like interact with people that you know. Then I think it's a bit better that way. But yeah, it's a go to that. I spend way too much time.
Yeah, it's probably my most used app. Like because sometimes I'll just get on there and I'm like, all right, I need it, and I already have a ton of lists. Like that is one thing. Listening, you need to do this. We need to make like on Spotify. You need to make a
search.
What do you call it? Yeah, a search when I put in a movie so I can tag a bunch of my list because I have to go searching through my list to put on it. And sometimes it's a movie that can fit on 5-10 lists. So and I have
Yeah.
over 250 lists now, so I'm
Dang.
scrolling to find.
Jesus, holy shit!
Yeah, because it's kind of a problem. Like, but it's hard. I mean, that's I wish you could also maybe put them in like a collection playlist, like you have your favorite directors here, then all of the years, because I have all of the years ranked
Yeah,
from
that's fair.
2023 to 1999 when I was born. So yeah, I don't know. Letterboxd, they're getting bought out, so we may be seeing some new features soon. So
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think they were saying. I think I saw in one of their comments that they said. Well, I know that they said collaborative lists are
Yeah, I saw that
like
as well.
few people, but
that would be dope.
I don't know if I was imagining this, but I swear they seen in their comments they said TV shows becoming soon too. I think so. I'm not.
I would
not
like that
100%
too.
sure. That would be so.
And dude, we could do kind of like what Real Talk does. They have a Real Talk collection. We could do a collection. We put like each of us puts 5 movies. We have 20 movies that are like these are our favorites. You know.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Our listeners can go watch them, and so they know like, what our favorites are.
Mm-hmm. So, should we get into our top 10 movies of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna all list first our 10 to 6 favorite films of the year, and then we'll go back around and list our 5 to 1. So I will start off. Let me get my Letterboxd up here. So in my 10th place, this is a bit of a polarizing film, polarizing director, definitely, but I really enjoyed this. In 10th place, I have Knock at the Cabin, so M. Night Shyamalan.
W.
I know some people don't like it, but I actually really enjoyed it. I haven't watched as many 2023 releases as I wanted to this year. I haven't been keeping up to date as compared to last year. Anyways, I was watching a lot of 2023 release or 2022 releases. I've been watching more older films because I feel like the older they are, they're kind of better. Sometimes they can be hit and miss from the year they come out. So I've seen 36 films this year, and Knock at the Cabin is number 10. Number 9, I have Missing, so kind of like a sequel to the Searching film. I don't know if you guys seen that, but
yeah,
I really love the style, the fan footage. Well, it's like a kind of a laptop screen fan footage style, but I think it's so engaging the way they do it, and it's one of those films that are like impossible to not take your eye off the screen, and they're just really addicting to watch. In number 8, I have Creed 3. It's my favorite Creed film. Although I haven't seen number 2, but Jonathan Majors, Michael B. Jordan were amazing in that. Obviously I used to do boxing, so I'm gonna love the film as well. But yeah, that film was very good. Great directorial. I think it was directorial debut from Michael B. Jordan. Really impressive.
Really good directorial debut.
Yeah. Then at number 7, I have Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. I'm a huge Mission Impossible fan. The franchise has had all good films except for Mission Impossible 2. We don't talk about that one.
Yeah, that one can
we don't talk about that one. But I'm a huge fan. Tom Cruise is a mental. He's crazy, but the stunts that he does are epic. And this film is grand in scale and has amazing stunts, practical effects, and it all. And it definitely lived up to my expectations. It's not my favorite Mission Impossible film. I think it's around 3rd or 4th. I think Rogue Nation and Fallout. Fallout's my favorite. Rogue Nation's second, and then it's around Dead Reckoning. And then finally at number 6, another polarizing one. A lot of people didn't like this one, but I did. Is The Flash. So I don't know. So I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Now the CGI that was questionable, but
in some parts of the film, but in others it was better.
Yeah, exactly. But
like the Batman stuff. That was great.
Yeah, 100%. And even though Ezra Miller is a bit of a scumbag, he was great in the film. But you know, it is what it is. So yeah, those are my 10 to 6, and yeah,
That's a solid
Yeah,
5.
that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Okay,
I
KB.
like all of those movies.
Thank you.
So The Flash just missed out on my list. I put it at 11, but let's start with the top 10. So at number 10, I have They Cloned Tyrone.
Dude, yes.
It's a very different movie, I'd say. I don't think I've seen anything quite like it. I've seen movies that have parts in common with the movie, but I feel like this film is an amalgamation of different parts of many movies, and it works. Sometimes it doesn't work, but here it worked. At number 9, I have Creed 3, also one of my favorite Creed movies. Jonathan Majors might have some allegations against him, but he was good in the movie. I try to separate the artist from the art, and in the film he was great. Michael B. Jordan as an actor, as a director, perfect. At number 8, I have Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I feel like this franchise keeps on getting better with time. I don't think a lot of franchises can do that, but
100%.
It always feels bigger. The stakes are higher. The stunts are
crazier,
more dangerous, crazier. And Tom Cruise just keeps getting better with time.
Isn't he like 60? Still doing this?
Yeah.
Yep.
He does not look 60.
At number 7, I have Riley. I think either Jalen or Caleb told me to watch this film, and I absolutely loved it.
So valid. That just missed out on my top 10.
It's one of the best rom-coms I've ever seen. It's also an amalgamation of many different styles, I'd say, and not movies. So it has a bit of Wes Anderson, a bit of Edgar Wright, a bit of Richard Linklater, a bit of Guy Ritchie, and all mixed in together. I feel like it makes one of the best rom-coms I've ever seen.
Yes.
And finally, at number 6, Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. I really enjoyed this film, and I feel like this film is going to be as polarizing as The French Dispatch. You either love it or you hate it. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people in between. Yeah.
I'm in between, but more so towards the disliking it. But I didn't think. Is it? I'm sorry.
I respect that.
I respect
that. It's fine. I knew this film was going to be polarizing, so I
Wes
respect
Anderson.
that.
I mean, I came into that movie really liking it, but my friend was like, "Dude, this is like top 3 in the year," and I was like, "I don't know about all that," but I do have it very high.
That's a great 10 to 6.
Yeah, I like having a lot of y'all are saying movies because I don't know the count on how many movies y'all seen, but I've seen quite a bit up to this point. So some of the ones y'all are naming, I'm like, they've dropped up a little bit. Like Rye Lane has dropped for me, but when I saw it at that time, it was very high. It was probably in my top 12, 10. But then I just kept seeing movies. But I'm glad that y'all are naming movies that aren't near mine now, but they're like really good movies.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of movies this year, so my picks are mostly basic. I think Rye Lane is just the only film that's not very basic on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And if y'all, listeners, y'all want to watch it, go watch it on Hulu.
Yes.
It's easy to access.
Or Disney Plus if you're.
That is true.
In Ireland or UK. If you want to list there how many films you've actually seen that have come out this year. So I've seen 36. Maybe do you want to say how many films you've seen?
I've seen 55.
55.
I've seen 76.
Oh, you see more than me.
Damn.
A list.
Okay.
Yeah. Lately I haven't been going because I don't have my car right now. It's in the shop. But when I get it back, you best believe I'm taking a trip down to the cinema and I'm doing a double feature because it's been a while.
Yeah, I have Cineworld Unlimited as well. It's like a 15-minute walk away from where I'm living right now. So when the movie's out, I just go there. It's so handy. It's €15 a month. See Unlimited. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's really good.
I haven't been going to the movies a lot, because I'm living in Italy now, and most movies are dubbed here, so I have to go through like researching where they're showing a certain film in English at what time, so it's very hectic.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get out of my way to watch that movie in English at a reasonable time.
Oh, I bet.
That's cool. Okay, who's
Jalen?
Jalen?
Yeah. Just like everybody else so far, at number 10, I have The Flash in my top 10.
Let's go.
Very, like, CGI aside, the movie was not that bad, guys.
No, it's good. It's good.
Batman, was he, I mean, you can argue if he should have been in it or not, but his addition wasn't bad.
He definitely should have been.
Like, you can nitpick this movie, but, like, I would not be like, oh, this is a terrible movie. CGI aside, story-wise, I rock with it. Number 9, Blackberry. I like that a lot.
That was great.
That's
like right outside my top 10.
It deserves it. But I've seen on Twitter people hating on biopics like, this is just corporate marketing. They just want you to buy more product. Like, it's just like, I don't view biopics like that. Like, I can watch a biopic and not indulge in what they're
exactly. Just
like, I watched Flamin' Hot. I have not bought a bag of Cheetos in years. But Blackberry is, I feel like it's underrated. Let me see how many people watched it. Not even 100,000 people watched it. 79,000. Needs more love.
Yeah, I feel like not a lot of people were talking about it. I knew a couple people were talking about it, and I was like, I'm gonna go see this because and I never watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but I knew who Glenn Howerton was, so like Glenn Howerton's really damn good in that movie.
Yes, but
Blackberry's only coming out over here now. It's only coming out. Yeah, I know. Now I can see. I found websites that have had it for a while. Don't illegally stream movies if you can. if you can go to the cinema, do. But I found websites. Yeah, they're only showing it now. It's one of the worst things about living over here is that some movies come out like months later compared to US. Like it's crazy how much later. Like I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Babylon only came out this year over here. Like in February, I think. Wow. So did The Whale. The Whale did as well.
Y'all probably got women talking late too, huh?
Yeah, really late. Pearl came out.
We got it late.
Pearl came out way later as well. Now, because if it's coming out like and everyone else is watching, I do have a website I go to that I watch it on there. But if I can, I will go see it in the cinema. But
yeah, of course.
Sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do. Sometimes.
Yes.
But piggybacking off of Blackberry at number 8, Air. That was the first movie that I saw at AMC when I first got A-list. Because that's like April. I'm like, hey, movies are starting to pick up. I'm not about to be paying 13 here, 13 here, 13 here.
Yeah.
Somebody told me to get on A-list. But back with Blackberry has 79,000. Air has 351,000 views. So in comparison, Blackberry is super underrated with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jordan sell.
You said,
Jordans sell more than Blackberry. So if you think about it that way,
that
explains the gap.
Yeah. I think Air went on Prime as well. I'm pretty sure it did. Yeah.
And also overall more digestible. Blackberry is a Canadian movie as well, so that could be a factor. But I forgot to mention all these movies that I'm about to talk about are 9 out of 10. At 7, Creed 3, favorite Creed movie,
Harry
Ford debut. That was March. Yeah, when I watched that in March, that was like very, very high on my list, but nothing was really out. But it's still pretty high.
Yeah, me and you both were like, this isn't leaving our top 10 all year. And then sadly, it's moved down just a little bit to my top 15.
Okay.
See, still not even bad.
But I love it. It's 4.5.
I will say that I think this is a better year for movies than last year. Not to take nothing away from last year, but this year, been kind of raw to me.
I think there's definitely an argument. Somebody I know was like, this movie sucks compared to last year. And I'm like, we're still getting some really good movies. But I had so many 4.5s last year.
Last year, we were kind of spoiled. I feel like after the years before not being great, last year we got a lot of bangers. And also, I feel like this year we still have a few left this year, like The Killer, Blaze of the Flower Moon, We have a few
Poor
others.
Things.
Yes, exactly. Now I know a few were delayed, which might not help. Like Dune 2 getting delayed depressed me.
Yeah, if we would have got
much.
Dune 2, man,
That destroyed me.
I was so upset.
I still need to watch Dune, but I'm gonna get on the hype soon.
Well, hopefully, if you just want to wait a little bit, hopefully they'll do like a
Re-release.
re-release.
Yeah.
Hey,
And that's a movie you want to see in IMAX, man.
Yeah.
See, 100%.
Or at
What's
least
in
in
the
the
trailer?
theater, even if it's not
Trailer
IMAX.
IMAX.
That
man,
was
I'm
like
a
the
big dude.
first movie I saw in IMAX. Like, not ever, but I went years and years without seeing a movie in IMAX, and then that was the first one coming right out of the pandemic where I was like, "Holy crap, man! This is a movie to see in IMAX."
I think Oppenheimer's the first movie I saw in IMAX, which
No.
I'm not mad at, but I want to
No.
experience.
That's great.
I don't in Ireland. We don't have any real IMAX screens. You know the way there's like real ones. We have one of the fake ones, but it's still like it's better sound quality and bigger screens. But it definitely makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
My number 6 is going to be a little polarizing. It has a 2.7 on Letterboxd, which is not good. But it's Transformers: Rise of the Beast, my favorite Transformers movie. If you guys
Really?
thing, I have a Transformers thing right there, and even have Transformers like toys with movies in them. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I have one of those too.
I rock with them, and also when I watch it, I'm like, okay, I feel like people gonna rock with this one. Then I see the reviews, worst movie of the year. I'm like, dang.
It's definitely not worst movie of the year.
Nah, it's definitely not worst movie of the year.
I went into it because I'm not the biggest Transformer fan. I'll say that right now. I love the first one, and I think the second one is decent. And then I liked Bumblebee. But going in this one, I went and saw it alone, and I came out. I was like, I enjoyed the Transformers movie. Like, it was a lot better than I expected.
Yeah, I went in thinking it was going to be terrible, and I couldn't help but like it. Like I was like, oh, it's actually good. Like it was actually good.
It had a fire soundtrack. I liked the character.
Yeah, the soundtrack was really good.
Pete
I feel like the
Davidson.
soundtrack to me was the best part.
Final act as well was amazing. The action and fight scenes were great, and yeah, it surprised me definitely.
And then the ending, I was like, what? I'm intrigued, man. I'm intrigued, but I just hope, I don't know. If they don't get it right, whatever. But like, it's definitely something that I'm like, okay, you're doing something,
Never would have thought that. I'm not even a big G.I. Joe fan, but
yeah, I wouldn't have spoilers, everybody. I wasn't expecting that.
James, you say that's your favorite Transformers movie?
Yeah, the highest rated.
Okay, my favorite is Revenge.
You said yours is Revenge of the Fallen?
Yeah, I know, and that's like one of the more hated ones as well.
It would probably be my second or third. The only one I can really remember is the first one. Besides,
they are all quite kind of blend together. Like when I was I was trying to watch all of them before the new one came out, but I couldn't bring myself to watch the Mark Wahlberg ones. Like I've watched one of them before, but I was like, I can't do it. But a lot of them, like the older ones, they all are very, very similar. Like top points, like the top points are, but decent movies. Mm-hmm. That was a great list as well. Dude.
Appreciate it.
Yes, it was a good list.
Caleb, let's go through
it. So my number 10 is going to be a movie Jalen just talked about. Is Air by Ben Affleck. I'm with Jalen. I think at least this year in particular, we are getting a lot of movies that are of about corporations, stuff like that. But Air and Blackberry are two that stand out amongst the rest. Even though I didn't see the other ones, just by the trailers, I didn't want to see them. I do want to see Dumb Money though. But Air was fantastic. I thought everybody was great in that. Matt Damon, Viola Davis was maybe gives the best supporting performance of the year so far. Chris Tucker was great in it. It was just, and I love Michael Jordan, man. I think he's the GOAT. So I went into this like dude, some of my favorite actors. It's about Michael Jordan's shoe, not Michael Jordan, but like
Yeah,
still
exactly.
Michael Jordan's involved in it. So it was straight up my alley and my friend's alley. So we had a good time with it. So that's my number 10. Number 9, I don't know if y'all are gonna have this on your list or not. It's probably gonna be higher. But I have John Wick 4.
Yeah.
And don't let it being at 9 discourage you because this is my favorite John Wick movie. I loved this movie. I went and saw it twice in IMAX, and yeah, I had just binged all 3, watching them for the first time before I went and saw 4, and I saw 4, and it was just like, this shit is hard, man.
I hate that I haven't seen
And the
it.
soundtracks and like that above shot when he's
Yeah.
just like going through the rooms.
Dragon Breath.
Dude, that is crazy. So, and some of these other ones I have ahead of it, I haven't rewatched. So, maybe if I rewatched them, it always fluctuates. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm thinking like I'll see a clip of John Wick and I'm like, I want to raise that higher, man.
Yeah.
It's so good. But moving on to my 8th, I have a movie that is very slept on. Let's see how many people saw this. Where does it say how many people have seen it?
If you go down the green section.
Oh, or 60K. So
That is well.
it's How to Blow Up a Pipeline.
Oh yes, yes.
That movie was. I went into it completely blind. Obviously, the name kind of gives away a little bit, but it's the way that movie was made. The cinematography was great. You learn about all of these characters, and it's just like it's a movie that keeps you on the edge of your seat. And the score is fire. I still listen to the score. The score is like it almost sounds kind of Blade Runner-ish, and it's just it's a movie that I was completely shocked. And when I saw it, I was like, this movie is fire, and more people definitely need to see it.
Just missed out on my top 10. That's number 12 for me. But I also remember watching that, and I kept on thinking who some of the actors. Some of them actors are from films like I forget your man's name. One of the guys from It Follows. Another one is from the Leonardo DiCaprio's son. His character's son in The Revenant is in it as well. But yeah, it was definitely a great film. And I didn't know beforehand. It felt real. It felt like it was a real event that happened.
Yeah, it was just it kind of blew me away.
Like the pipeline.
What's up? Like the pipeline. So yeah, if you haven't seen How to Blow a Pipeline, I would definitely recommend.
Watch that right when October's over. First part already watched.
Hell yeah, man!
I'm gonna watch John Wick when October's over. John Wick 4.
Yeah, dude, I wanna rewatch it soon too. My 7 is going to be Ari Aster's Beau is Afraid. This movie was crazy.
Still gotta watch it myself.
Yeah, it was a crazy movie. Definitely polarizing. And it's polarizing when Ari Aster fans are going to see it and they hate it.
Yes.
And it's a movie that it's 3 hours long. It's a lot to absorb, and I already know people who didn't care for it the first time, but when we rewatched it and they were like, okay, I actually liked it a lot more in a second rewatch. But yeah, he's just throwing so much at you. It's chaotic. It's hectic. It's, Joaquin Phoenix being Joaquin Phoenix he's absolutely insane. But I'm an Ari Aster fan. To me, he's the best modern horror director working right now, besides Jordan Peele. But yeah, Beau's Afraid is just absolutely insane. I still will need to rewatch it, but I remember coming out of that movie like, what did I just watch? And that's sometimes that doesn't always work, like Mother. But in this instance, I was like, what did I just watch? But I loved it. It was crazy. And then to come out with my 6th, it is Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. I had this at my 5th spot, but recently I moved it. I just switched it, but that could always fluctuate. But I'm a Tom Cruise guy. I'm a Mission Impossible guy. I binged all of the Mission Impossibles before, even though I'd seen them before. I was like, hey, I haven't seen a couple of them in a while, and Tom Cruise, my guy. And then I even rewatched a couple of them again before because my sister had never seen him, so she binged them all. So Mission Impossible hit different in the theater. I haven't seen one in theater since Fallout, and I don't think it's better than Fallout. I don't, but it may be my second favorite, even though I love Ghost Protocol. I think Ghost Protocol is actually pretty slept on, and I think it has the best Mission Impossible scene. In Dubai on the what's the tower called? Yeah, and that scene always sticks with me as my favorite scene in Mission Impossible. But yeah, my sixth is Mission Impossible, so there wasn't much to say about it.
We need to do Mission Impossible ranked.
Hell yeah!
Yeah. Oh
That'd
yeah, that's definitely a good idea.
Have all of y'all seen all of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. We have Mission Impossible fans, man.
Next episode idea there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the 5-1 picks. So at number 5, speaking of the year of biopics, I have Dumb Money. This might be an unpopular having it this high, but this really surprised me. I saw it like a week early with Cineworld Unlimited, but it actually surprised me a lot. Like the cast is perfect. Paul Dano as a Redditor is a perfect casting. He plays that role so well. But I actually was very surprised by it. Even though I remember the whole GameStop stock when it happened, I didn't really understand everything about it. Yeah. And even though the film isn't like really long, it definitely explains it in an in-depth way that I didn't expect. And it's just really entertaining. More entertaining than I thought for like a stock kind of based film. But it doesn't hold back with the jokes and stuff. It includes like the editing is like Reddit montages and stuff. And I thought it was hilarious. And then, like, there's nothing better than seeing greedy hedge fund guys losing loads of money. It's very satisfying to watch. But yeah, that's my number 5 pick. Then followed by another biopic that you guys have talked about. I have Air. Ben Affleck proves that he's just as good of a director again as an actor. Whole cast, the whole ensemble work together so well. Their chemistry with Chris Tucker, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Jason Bateman as well. They're all fantastic. And I really enjoyed that they didn't you didn't see Michael Jordan's character in it either. I feel like that worked nice. They focused more so on the whole business side, and they didn't try advertise that as Michael Jordan's in the movie and who's playing him. And as you said, Viola Davis was fantastic. At number 3, we're entering the 5-star range now. Before this, they were all 4.5. And so, most of them are. So at number 3, I have Across the Spider-Verse. This is I think it's one of my favorite animated films of all time.
Yes.
As everyone has said, the animation is fantastic. It's one of the best looking animated films I've ever seen. It's so rewatchable as well. On rewatch, it went up in score as well. It's just a peak movie, and I can't wait for the next part.
Mm-hmm.
Then at number 2, I have my favorite MCU film, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Let's go.
The trilogy and James Gunn's last movie for the MCU. It was perfect. It was fucking perfect. And it made me cry. The soundtrack, the characters, the action, everything worked so well, and it's easily one of my favorite Marvel and MCU films. And then at number 1, by quite a bit of a gap, I have Oppenheimer.
Hell yeah!
It's the spectacle of the year, along with Barbie, the whole Barbenheimer thing, and I think Oppenheimer came out on top. Christopher Nolan produces a masterpiece yet again, or directs a masterpiece yet again, and Cillian Murphy is coming for that Oscar.
Snatch.
This man don't miss.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, can I retcon my 10-6? I have one change to make.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
As I completely forgot about Beau's Afraid, and I actually believe it is higher on my list than They Clone Tyrone, so I'm gonna slot in
Okay,
Who Was Afraid at my number 10.
that's fair.
Now on to my top 5. At number 5, I have John Wick Chapter 4. John Wick, the whole franchise brought action movies back to the mainstream in a good way. And John Wick 4 might be the best out of this franchise.
Mhm.
And Keanu Reeves is just amazing in everything he does. Plus, we were born in the same city. He was born in Beirut, Lebanon, so I gotta appreciate my
Really?
man.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. At number 4, I have Barbie.
Nice.
I'm a big Greta Gerwig fan, so anything she touches turns into gold in my eyes. And Barbie was a great movie, great soundtrack, great performances, a lot of pink.
A lot.
Yeah. But I feel like people right now, like a while after the movie came out, are divided. People either still love it or their love just died down a bit. But
Yeah.
I'm still a big Barbie lover, so
Keep it up.
yeah. At number 3, I have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Mhm.
I think, Sean, you said everything that can be said about this film.
Yeah.
It's visually amazing, so rewatchable, and yeah, it makes my podium. At number 2, I have Oppenheimer. I know this might be divisive, but I don't think it's the best movie of the year. Actually, it might be the best, but it's not my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah, that's totally valid.
Same.
Yeah.
I watched it twice and I really liked it, but I feel like it has something missing. I have 2 big issues with it, and I talked about them openly. One is the sound mixing. For half of the runtime, I couldn't hear shit. And my second issue was just the pacing in the first act, but it picked up in the second and third act. It's still my second favorite movie of the year, so
Yeah,
I still regard
I
it
mean,
very highly. But I
that's
feel like
totally
it's just
fine.
the small margins
Fair.
that keep it away from my number 1, which is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. My favorite MCU film, my favorite MCU franchise, and my favorite MCU character, Rocket Raccoon. I feel like they ended his arc and James Gunn's arc as well perfectly in the MCU.
Yes.
Completely agree. So valid.
Agreed.
So now I'm up. Number 5, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. We all got it up here for a reason. It's that movie. And when I seen it, it could have been a little bit of recency bias, but I'm like, this is my favorite series. But I got to rewatch and make sure. But it is technically my highest rated. But that could just be because I've seen it in theaters. I've only seen Ghost Protocol in theaters when it came out, but I was young. I haven't seen anything before that, so I didn't know. But I was experiencing.
Yeah.
But we'll see if it's recency bias later on. Number 4, Across the Spider-Verse, for reasons as we know. Oh, I forgot. They reckon 9 out of 10. This is 9 out of 10. And then here's my top 3. John Wick 4, one of the best theater experiences. I'm kind of mad. I was running late to the movie, and I was not playing. I forgot why I was running late, but I was not playing. I'm like, I'm experiencing this. So while I'm driving, I'm literally on my maybe or may not be illegal site. Have it in my cup holder, listening to stuff on
Jesus.
I'm like, I'm not missing nothing. But I don't miss too much, but it was like one of the best theater experiences. Action off the chain. And then
Agreed.
my top 2, these are my only 5 out of 5s of the year. One of them, some people question it, that is this high, but if you know me, you know why it's this high. My number 2 spot is Scream 6. Love me some Scream. Scream 6 is my second favorite Scream movie. Only Scream 1 and Scream 2 are 5 out of 5 in that series for me. I feel like if you know, you know. It was that movie. But I don't understand. Everybody likes it differently. Did you guys see it?
Yeah, I did.
I really liked it. It's probably my 3rd favorite Scream movie.
I enjoyed like the Scream before this. When they remake, I actually enjoyed that as well. I was going in thinking I was going to enjoy it. Unfortunately, I didn't. I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't hugely dislike it. It just didn't really click with me as I expected to. But I respect that though. I can see why people really love it as well. The cast is great. Also,
The killer reveals, well, yes. No. I still enjoy the third act. Like, when
the third act was great. I feel like.
Yeah,
I
the
think
third act is still good, and everything that's happening with Sam is good too. I mean, I like her line and stuff. The first time I watched it, the reveal worked for me, but I think I was caught up in the hype. I was just like, "Whoa!" Like they've never done this before.
Yeah, I agree. I
We've
was
never had
surprised by it as
three
well.
killers before, and
Yeah.
I was especially shocked for the main one, the older one. You know what I'm talking about? That person was a little predictable, but the other two, I didn't predict that. And some people, I was like, I predict all three, and I was like, you're a liar. Like you're lying.
No, you know predict all three.
But rewatching it, because like the first screen, for instance, when that reveal, every time I see that reveal, it still hits. It still bangs, you know? But this one on the second rewatch in the theaters, I was just kind of like, But everything else is like fire, man.
Yes.
Like everything,
Chase sequences, great. The scares were great.
Kills as well.
Yeah, dude, the kills are crazy, and I loved it. It may
the opening
the
scene.
first one, it may have the best opening.
Yeah, the opening scene was great.
But Scream 2 opening is pretty damn good too with Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah,
I like that one. So it's those three. Those three had the best opening.
Yes, I agree. But also back with the killer reveal, only one of them genuinely surprised me. Even though some people were saying, I knew that really wasn't going to be. I don't want to say it because KB hasn't seen it. I don't know who hasn't seen it.
I don't think I'm going to see it anytime soon. So you can just.
Well, I'm going to just use hints. It includes someone in the bathroom. Closing his ears. Somebody had somebody in the bathroom. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to say. I hope. Are you kind of piecing together?
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
A certain person, a part of the.
Yeah.
Everybody close your ears if you haven't seen the movie. But only one of them genuinely surprised me because it was kind of fake out. But
yeah.
Other than that, I rock with it.
Yeah, but, I mean, dude, Scream 6 banger. So
well,
I wouldn't let anybody tell you any different. I mean, it's Scream is one of those where it's not always like so many people clowned me for my rating on Scream 4. They're like, how do you have it so high? And I'm just like, dude, I liked it a lot. Like I loved it actually, and I was not expecting to love it. But it's like when it comes to horror movies, I feel like ratings are different. Like you don't have to always go off of technicality and stuff, and no one usually does. I mean, I have that as a part of my rating process. You know, technicality is usually in there. Like, what is this? What is this? What is this? But then sometimes it's just like, look, this may not be a 5-star, but it's 5-star to me, and that's all that matters.
Exactly, yeah.
Keep that. We got to keep that. We got to keep people away from too much objectivity. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
you can't truly be fully objective, but people try.
We all had the same opinions, and it's boring. I mean, we've heard that forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't you just go off vibes? Why everything got to be? Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of them horror movies from the '80s are not the best, but people still love.
No, like a hot take right now, or should I save that for next episode?
I mean, you could give a little sneak peek right now.
Okay, I'll give it a little sneak peek. I like it, but I think it's overrated. The Evil Dead, the first one. I personally agree. Which is hot take, and I'm only talking about the first Evil Dead because I haven't seen Evil Dead 2. I may like that one more.
I haven't seen it either.
Evil Dead remake and Evil Dead Rise, I'm taking that over the first one.
I agree completely.
Because when I was watching it, I was like, I've seen better. And I get that this is like a OG film and people have been inspired by it. I'm not going to take that away from it.
Yeah.
And I totally get why some people get upset. We lost Jalen.
Oh, no. He still hasn't given his number one yet.
I think we all know what his number one is.
Do we?
I don't.
Has he said Guardians yet?
No, but I think it's. I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything, but I don't think it's Guardians.
You don't think it is?
You think it is?
I don't know if it is. No, I just.
It's one of two options.
Yeah. Well, we'll give him a few minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Caleb, I thought your hot take was gonna be about a certain movie that a certain someone likes to watch at a certain speed.
Oh no.
Oh shit, he left.
Now that's a hot take.
So Jalen's laptop randomly died.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
you just wanna
maybe
pause the
Caleb, do you
recording
want to
now?
go through your?
Or I go through mine?
Yeah, while we're waiting for his to charge back up, and then we can keep
that's
talking
cool.
afterwards.
And then we can just resume back to his number one, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So at my number 5, I did have this at 6, like yesterday or the day before, but then I switched that and Mission Impossible because I really did love it, and I think it's a better movie. I put Asteroid City at my number 5 because I'm a Wes Anderson guy, and it's definitely a Wes Anderson movie I need to rewatch. He's saying a lot and he's showing a lot. But it's just, and I feel like some people don't have this, even if you're a Wes Anderson fan, but it doesn't matter if I like, or he said he's backstage. Do you know what that means? Is that you? Oh, okay.
There we go. My laptop currently died.
Welcome back.
All right, we can go back to Jalen now since I already.
Yeah, we're still waiting for your number one movie.
Oh,
we had a little debate about that, but so let's see.
My number 1 is just like everybody else's, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Hey.
My favorite theater experience. Loved it. I still was crazy. I still don't even have it yet, but since I'm on part of Disney Movie Club, I'm gonna buy it because since they pretty much hold a gun to the back of your head and say buy my movies now. But I'm mad I missed out on Steelbook. That Steelbook went by too fast, but I'm fine with 4K.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to get it on 4K ASAP.
Mm-hmm. But
that's a goated picks. So all of y'all had Guardians at number 1, right?
No, I had it number 2.
Oh, you had Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I was saying my number 5 is Asteroid City. But I was gonna say is like anytime I go and see a Wes Anderson movie, I don't know, man. He's just the feeling in watching his movies are a huge part of it. And I understand when some people don't always connect to his movies. Like I showed my sister Grand Budapest, and she was like, "It looks good, but I'm not connecting to it well." Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say this is just Wes Anderson, like this is set in stone, but sometimes his movies are a little more quality or style over substance. Some people may think that, especially if you watch a movie for the first time of his.
Yeah.
And I think there is some truth to that, but I still like the substance part. But when you go to a Wes Anderson movie, most people are just like, I want to see like a beautiful film, and that's what he makes. But most of us being Wes Anderson fans, like we love his movies. So coming out of Asteroid City, I wasn't like my friend where he was like, this is like a top 3 Wes Anderson movie for me. But I still really love it. And I have every movie in my top 10 at a 4.5. And then at my 4 to 1, those are 5 stars.
Okay.
So I'll go straight into my 4th one. Y'all's favorite, Guardians of the Galaxy 4. That is my favorite Marvel movie. I would say overall maybe Infinity War is, but if we're counting outside of an Avenger movie, Guardians 4 is easily
definitely takes it.
I went and saw that movie 4 times in the theater.
Oh wow! I ain't mad at it.
I went and saw it with my friend, and I went and saw it with my other friend. Then I went and saw it with my sister, and then they were doing this deal. Like a week later, if you go see it, you get like 200 points through AMC. So my other friend and my sister are like, let's do it again. It was their second time, but it was my 4th time. But it just got better every single time. I cried every single time. And at first the first watch, I wasn't like, this is my favorite Marvel movie, but it's like my top 5 favorite Marvel movies. And then second and third watch, it just kept going up. But yeah, that's why I respect y'all having it really high because it is a fantastic movie. Then my third is what's up?
Is that your favorite Marvel movie?
Yeah, outside of Infinity War. Like if I wasn't counting Avengers movie, then I would say
Yeah.
that's my favorite, like standalone Marvel
Okay.
movie. A third, I have Across the Spider-Verse, of course.
Yeah.
Not only one of the best Spider-Man movies, I think maybe I am a huge Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi Spider-Man guy. Those are my
Yes.
favorites, but I will
Those
say
need
this
to go.
could be the best Spider-Man movie, objectively. And it's one of the best animated movies I've ever seen. And it's just one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's already in my top 100 favorite movies of all time.
As it should.
I've only seen it once. I really need to see it again, but that movie's fantastic. But y'all said a lot about it, so I won't keep going. And number 2, I have a movie that I don't think any of y'all have seen, but it is fantastic, and that is Past Lives.
I still need to see that.
I've seen it.
You seen
It's
it?
on my watch
Yeah.
list.
And-
I get
what-
that's in my like top 15.
Okay. Before I saw this before seeing Oppenheimer, I saw it after seeing Spider-Man, and I was like, yeah, this is the best movie of 2023. I absolutely loved it. It made me cry. I think it's easily one of the best romance movies we have ever gotten, and it's one of the best directorial debuts from Celine Song, and it's now one of my favorite A24 movies. My top A24 movies look very different than anybody else, but Past Lives is in my top 3 or 4 of A24. But it is a fantastic movie. I think, yeah, it's just a really good movie. And I don't know if a ton of people have seen it. I mean, I'm sure y'all
like,
heard the buzz of it. Like,
yeah,
and
that's why it's been a very like it was high on my watch list for ages, and once again it came out here a good bit later than everywhere else. I watched it online first though. But yeah, I watched it because all my mutuals and all have rated it really highly. Unfortunately, I didn't connect with it as much as others, so like I didn't get as emotionally like connected to it as others, and I didn't find it that like, but I didn't cry over it or stuff like that. I still thought it was a pretty good film, and just didn't love it like others did, but still very impressive, especially directorial debut is
yeah,
crazy good for directorial debut.
And I
Another
think-
common 24W as well.
yeah, common.
I'm
And
gonna have
I
to
think
watch it.
Greta Lee gives one of the best performances of the year.
100%.
Probably my pick right now for best actress.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then my number 1, it's Oppenheimer. It's
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan, baby. I mean, when I saw this movie, I thought it was fantastic. And I totally get where, you would say the first act is a little slower. But I just feel like the second time I went saw it, that just did not bother me at all. And I was
Yeah.
just sucked into it from the beginning because I knew what I was going to see. And Christopher Nolan is my guy. I mean, it sounds like we're all Christopher Nolan heads, and I'm not afraid to say that because
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, all my life, again, Nolan was one of those guys I knew because I loved the Dark Knight trilogy. So just based off of the Dark Knight trilogy, I was like, Christopher Nolan's one of my favorite directors. And then in the last 2 years, I've ventured out into Memento and The Prestige, and he just it just kept growing of love. So when people are like, he's overrated or something, and like, you're insane, bro. Like, there's not many directors doing what he's doing. But Oppenheimer, I can see the issues. I can totally see if this is not your number 1 favorite movie of the year. I totally understand that. And like what you're saying, having Guardians over it, like I'd rather rewatch Guardians for sure. But the mix of Oppenheimer, like it's my favorite and the best. It's just that I can totally see why someone wouldn't say it's their favorite, but it is the best of the year. But there's other ones. Like if you wanted to say Spider-Verse was the best movie of the year, I'd be like, okay, But I feel like for that movie, for me, compared to a Past Lives or Oppenheimer is there's not a true ending, which is okay. I'm not tripping about that. I like the cliffhanger, but when it comes to the top tier movies, I would choose Past Lives or Oppenheimer because those are complete movies.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, man. I mean, we all either have Oppenheimer or Guardians 4 as at number one, so that's pretty dope.
Yeah,
I'm very unpopular to many, but I just checked my Letterboxd. I have Oppenheimer in 17th place, and when I already know when I'm in the video, people gonna tear me apart. I still like it. I give it 8.5 out of 10.
What did you get it?
8.5 out of 10.
That's
So
still a really good
is that a 4 out of 5?
Then I've seen it twice. The first time I was like on the brink of passing out because I was exhausted since I work nights. I work nights and I tried to go to the earliest showing. I had seen the 70 millimeter because the way my schedule was set up, I had to see it, and I got woken up an hour or 2 hours before I was supposed to actually be up. So I was in the theater, like I'm talking about eyes watering. I'm fighting through the sleep. So I couldn't fully enjoy it. But when I seen it in IMAX, I'm like, okay. Like once, and I've seen it like 2 days apart. Seeing a 3-hour movie on Thursday, then going back Sunday and seeing it, people gonna call you crazy for that. But the fact that I did it and still enjoyed it just goes to show it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Dude, even my family, they were like, when I told them I was going to see it again, my dad goes, "You're going to see that movie again?" I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I'm going to see Peak again? What are you talking about?" I was like,
"What are you saying?"
There's movies that are like, even though it's 3 hours, man, like, and I said,
didn't
I'm
feel
just going to be sitting here at home doing it.
Yeah, 3 hours ain't nothing.
I'll go sit in a 3-hour movie, and if I want to fall asleep, I'll fall asleep. But I didn't because I was even more zoned in the second time than I was.
No, literally the second time. I'm like,
it's one of those films that is so surprising that it's 3 hours, but I didn't feel the runtime at all. If anything, especially for a dialogue-driven film, usually when it's films like 3 hours like that, usually you might feel it all. I didn't feel it one bit. If anything, I wouldn't have minded it being even longer. I would watch more.
I said that too. I was like, if this wanted to be 4 hours, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like Jalen said, but he said he had Oppenheimer at 17. Didn't he 17?
Yeah.
Well,
it's still good, man. Like,
he still gave it a good rating. Like you said, you think people was gonna rip you apart for that, but like I have Past Lives, just checking it. I've Past Lives to 17, but I still gave it a good score. I think I have it a 4 out of 5.
I mean, you have to be a little ignorant not to understand someone to not have a 3-hour period piece biopic as their number one if they truly don't love it like you do, you know. Like, but I think there's a lot of people like my parents, they said it was really good, but they're not out here, and they're also not ranking movies, but I don't necessarily think that would be their favorite movie they've seen this year, you know. Like, whatever, man. Like, and your number one, Guardians, is super valid, so
Thank you. But my friends, like the hype with Oppenheimer really got people who wouldn't look in that movie's direction at all. And they was like, "Oh, I actually want to see that." Memes. I have a cousin who doesn't even want to watch the dialogue scenes in Marvel movies. He literally, like, we were watching the Wolverine, and he's skipping it, just go to the fight scenes. I'm like, "What are you doing?"
No.
Hey, let's go see Oppenheimer.
Did he like it?
No, you're not gonna watch that. But I mean, this is a testament to go to like what social media can do for movies and what marketing can do, and the power that we have.
Like, I saw Oppenheimer with my brother. I have a twin brother, and I saw it with him, and he's not a big movie head, but he really enjoyed it. Then I also had another friend who went to see it and wasn't a huge fan. He said he gave it like a 7 out of 10. But then again, he said the main thing he didn't like is that it was like he didn't know it was 3 hours long before he went to see it. So like, yeah, I was like,
so something you
but
should know.
It's understandable for your average like if you're average Joe, going to see it, that they're not a huge movie fan. Like, that's fair. That's completely understandable.
Yeah, because that's what every one of my family members, when we walked out of the theater, said. They were like, I said, "What'd you think?" And they're like, "That was really good, but it was pretty damn long." And I'm like, that's how it is. I've kind of trained myself to watch long movies. I mean, last year I went and saw the extended cut Lord of the Rings, which is 4 hours. So 3 hours is nothing for me. I mean, Spider-Verse, some people are the same people that are complaining about Oppenheimer. didn't complain about Spider-Verse, and Spider-Verse is like
Exactly.
2 hours and 40 minutes. So it's all going to depend on like how well the pacing is for
Preferences,
you
well,
and
yeah.
how well you can stay locked in. Because like you're saying, there are movies I watched that are long that I'm just like, this is boring. Like I'm sorry, like this is boring. But this, like Oppenheimer, especially if you see it in the theater,
Stop
I just
laughing.
I don't see how you could watch the whole movie and be like, I was bored the whole movie.
Like,
It's like,
nah,
are you insane?
come on now.
Like, what were you
That
watching?
courtroom sequence had me.
Hell
So
yeah, dude.
intense.
Like I think if anybody's gonna love anything, it's gonna be the second act. That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
But I think second act, third act are both like really great. And the first act I still really like. It's just
So do I.
you know, not a lot of movies are gonna have the if your first act is the best part of the movie, then that's a problem. So,
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't think the first act is slow. It's just that the pacing's off, so it's slow then fast and slow then fast.
Yes,
And
definitely.
it feels a bit unsettling, so you're not eased into the movie.
That's the thing
Yeah.
I noticed with a few Christopher Nolan movies. I think even Batman Begins starts off like that a little bit. And I think maybe a little bit with The Prestige, but I haven't seen it in a while to fully get it. But when I first started getting to Nolan, I'm noticing, why do his movies feel this way? And now that you say that, that makes sense.
Shall we get into the TikTok drama?
yeah, we'll end off with that.
Yeah, we'll finish off with that, yeah. So I'll start off. So everyone probably noticed. So the other day, I've been in my October horror movie watch this challenge, and I was watching House from 1977, but the script and the dialogue is like just made no sense whatsoever. So I was like, what the fuck is this? Especially what was happening in the film as well. I was completely lost. And like I have a wide attention span as well. Like because obviously one of my favorite films is Eternal Sunshine. Like that's not a straightforward movie either. Like that has like, you know, it's broken. The storyline is broken up as well, and it's not linear. So you know that's not the problem. But this is just like a whole other level of just like weird and confusing. But like it wasn't for me at all. And just for the movie kind of thing, I was like, will I just turn it off and just say I didn't like it so much that I couldn't even finish it, or will I, or will I skip a bit and see if it's like if it becomes any like easier and see what there is. So I skipped, but I didn't skip. I sped it up on like 2 times speed. Don't hate me. I've never done this before, but you know, tough times call for tough measures. So I put it on 2 times speed for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then I played it again to see if it was any different. But it still was just impossible, I think, to just follow. And so I just wasn't in the mood for it. I had a headache. The movie's just like it wasn't for me. I just really didn't like it. So I was like, let's just play it on 2 times speed. And I really like just like, in my opinion, anyways, one of my least favorite films from what I watched in normal speed, anyways. So then when I posted my review, I knew before I posted my review. Now I knew the 2 times speed was gonna annoy people. I knew that was gonna get like a few reactions, but I expected that, so that was fine. I didn't really care about that, but
and it's just kind of funny. I mean, like
It is.
you don't do that with every movie, like
yeah. Your average Joe probably does that with so many films, but I was like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie and say, oh yeah, I watched the whole movie. I was just gonna be honest, but so I was honest and I posted it was a harsh review on TikTok, but like I'm just like I don't hold back on this honest as is. So I posted my review, then I woke up the next day. I was working from home, and then I'm in a group chat with these other guys on Filmtalk, I got a mention, and I was like, "What's this?" And it's like, "You're like Sean's the villain of Filmtalk," and I saw that I had been stitched by the one and only Doug, who got very annoyed by my video so much that he decided to make his own and say that nobody cares about my opinion because I'm a film bro, or no one cares about my opinion. And surprisingly, he only mentioned the speed thing like once. It was more so because no one cares about what I have to say about films.
Yeah.
And yeah, so for someone that he says no one cares, he definitely cared enough to make a video.
Yeah.
Now he's had his own past his past bad takes before and incidents on Film Talk.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found the whole thing hilarious. More people defended me in his comments than people did in my own video, which is pretty funny. It was funny to see. Now a few people reacted to my video and were respectful. Owen, he was respectful in his video, and another creator, I'll check there now. They were also respectful and offered their opinion and take of why I should watch it again and explore the research behind the film. They were respectful, but Doug just got his feelings hurt, and yeah. So, if you want to give your guys 2 cents on it,
I feel like KB got some words. Khalil,
yeah.
So I just wanted to talk about. You just said he had previous drama, let's say, with some hot takes. And he did a video, I think, like stitched with George's video about his top 15 non-English films. And Mr. Doug over here had his own opinions about how this was racist and how there shouldn't be a foreign film category at the Oscars. And as a person who comes from a non-English speaking country, I feel like not having that would be racist, because the idea is, I think the media is like English centralized. It's more catered towards America and UK and Ireland in general, so English speaking countries.
Yeah.
So that's a problem with the media, but not the film world. So if the Oscars have a category for non-English films, that's a good thing and not a bad thing, because I think in 2018 and 19, we had 2 films in 2 years in a row nominated for Oscars from Lebanon. And as a Lebanese person, that was great to see. And I don't think we would have seen those 2 movies nominated for any Oscars if not for that category. And again, like, having that category, having people share their lists and opinions about their top 15 non-English films is a great way to promote those films, because the media is not going to do that. So if creators are doing that, especially a creator that's from an English-speaking country promoting movies that are non-English, to me, that's one of the biggest respects I can get as a person from a non-English speaking country. Mm-hmm. So for him to say that's racist, it comes from an imperialistic ideology, I completely disagree with that. And then about his hot takes on Sean, he's trying to gatekeep the film community and film in general. He thinks that he's the only one that can have opinions about films. He called you film bro number 96. But by doing that, with his whole video, he's showing that he's a film bro as well.
Literally.
He doesn't care, but he obviously cares a lot. He did a whole video about it, so
yeah.
obviously cares.
Way to contradict yourself, buddy.
Like, the video was full of contradictions, and as you said, it was just funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Even the people, I'm still getting hate comments on that video, but like, I've never understood how it can annoy someone so much. Now, obviously these people like the film, or they're friends with Doug, because obviously he stitched my video. I couldn't stitch his video, by the way. His stitches were off. I had to screen record it, so that explains a lot as well. But like, how can people get so like triggered or just like buttered over someone else's opinion? Like, if someone didn't like my favorite film and said it was shit, I just would scroll past and like, fuck it, I don't care. But for some reason, people just get so mad, just unbelievably mad. And I just think it's hilarious. Like, these people need to touch grass. Doug needs to touch grass.
You know, I watched, I'm like halfway through the movie. I low-key fell asleep after I got off work while watching it. Not because it was bad, like I didn't watch it, like I was genuinely tired. But like, I fully understand why you don't like it. It's very unconventionally made.
Yeah, like people were saying, it's experimental, and obviously experimental films aren't for everyone. I'm not a huge fan of experimental films. I like 1 or 2 here, but it's just not when I'm in. People are like, if you think that's your least or one of the worst films you've watched, you don't understand film. It's like,
No, like that's the wrong movie to say that with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm being real. I understand if it's 1977 experimental, people like it because of that. When I finish the movie, I guarantee it's not going to be nowhere near 5 out of 5, 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at a 7 out of 10 right now, but who knows? But I'm telling you right now, if somebody did what that movie did now, it would just be any other Tubi movie. That's my hot take.
Yeah, but yeah, that's also like a thing as well, is that if I said this about a film, a universally hated film like Fantastic or Marmaduke, nobody would care. Even if I said I watched it in 4 times speed, nobody would care. And film is subjective, so people are like, oh yeah, because those films are bad. It's like, yeah, people can think they're bad, but some people might like some parts of them. Like some people might like Fantastic because Michael B. Jordan or Miles Teller's in it. It's like
that might be the only exception where no one likes it, but
exactly, yeah. No one likes them. But it's like it's still subjective. So if I said I watched them in 4 times speed, nobody would care at all. But it's only because it's a loved film. Even like I'll say I don't care that people like it either. Like I'm not saying you're wrong. I literally say at the start of my review, it's only my opinion. Like it's my opinion only. Yours can be completely different. But 99% of my Letterboxd neutrals have it at least a 4 stars out of 5. So it is what it is.
It's not
and you clearly did that, and like you could have did it in
a more objective thing.
The faster speed, and not have told anybody you did that.
Yeah.
But you did that because you're like, it's funny. Like I didn't like it, and obviously you were like, hey, let's spark a little bit of controversy. But going through his video, trust me, there are things, some of them in particular have said that absolutely piss me off. But when you learn that's how they rate movies, and they have a particular niche of movies they like, then you're like, okay, whatever, that's just your opinion. You're one person that has that opinion. Mm-hmm. So whatever, man. Like I follow Owen in particular and K Meeks because they have a podcast.
Yeah, I'm friends with K Meeks.
The only one I don't follow is Doug. But I follow them on Letterboxd, and K Meeks usually has pretty good
I'm friends with
I agree with. But then Owen usually is the one person that has a 1.5 out of 5 on the list of people I follow. And you're just like, well, that's Owen, But
no one's gonna beat him.
But Doug, I mean, going and making a video like that, like I try to make my TikTok just positive, man. I'm just talking about movies I like, movies I love, directors I like. I mean, and every once in a while, it's because I usually do a 2023 release review. I'll go on there and be like, look, I didn't really like this movie that much. Here's why. But if you really liked it, then that's fine. But to make a video and just go off on you and try to degrade you and gatekeep, like Jalen said, it's just ridiculous. And who is going to be like thinking you're cool doing that? Just shitting on someone just because they have an opinion on one movie that you, I guess, love. I've never seen House. It's been on my watch list for a while. I do know people who love it, and clearly
that's why
I know people that don't like it. So I don't really, I can't give my thoughts on the movie, but still, it's like, it's not that serious. Like I first thing I was thinking, like, because I was at work and I saw y'all had been saying a lot in the group chat, so I read it and was like, what's this video? And I had actually watched your video and liked it, and I didn't even know that was like gonna spark anything. So I was like, oh crap, I need to go back and watch this video, and then I watched Doug's video, and I was just like, it's not that serious.
I would never, even one of my friends said they watched like a movie in like 2 times speed or anything, I wouldn't care, because like people are allowed to do whatever they want, and if they wanted to put up a thing on TikTok saying, oh, I hated this film, but they watched it, it's like, I don't care, like that's fine. I know you didn't I understand what people are saying. I didn't really watch the full movie as it was intended because I watched it half of it in 2 times speed. Like I get that, and you can say that's fine, but just chill, be chill about it. It's not that deep.
At the end of the day, you didn't like it. If you turned it off midway through, I'm pretty sure
that's what I'm saying. If I was not gonna watch the rest of it in 2 times speed, I was just gonna turn it off anyway. So, I would have, like, it's a part of my October challenge. I'm gonna be posting reviews for each one. So
And who knows, man? Later on in life, you may think, you know what, I
might
should
revisit.
rewatch
Yeah,
that, and maybe you like it. You know, because the first time I tried to
Opinions
watch
change
La La
over time.
Land, I turned it off like 5 minutes in. Granted, I was sleepy, but I was just like, no, like this is. I'm not a big musical guy, so I was like, this is not doing it for me.
Yeah.
And then later on in life, a couple months ago, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch La La Land, and I got through that opening musical and the rest of the movie. Now it's one of my all-time favorite movies. So, you know, this is my opinion now, but it doesn't mean that it's set in stone. Hey,
what would it?
That's fire.
So,
and also people were saying that you don't deserve to experience art, that watching the 2x speed is anti-art. And then maybe some of you're a Subway Surfers kid watching it two things at once because you're watching the 2x speed.
It's like, oh yeah, the death of art, like take it on. Like, what is this whole artsy thing? Is like so sad, so pretentious. That's what like so pretentious. All of that it just reeks of fucking pretentious takes. But yeah, the whole lesson of this is everyone's entitled to their own opinion and let them have it. No need to fucking hate. You can disagree, like Owen and that other creator did, and they were respectful about it. Just don't be like Doug. Don't be like Doug.
Doug, do better.
Do better, Doug. So this is episode 2 of the Filmtastic4 podcast. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys have anything else left to say, go ahead. If not, we'll end it here.
Like, share, subscribe. Follow all of us.
Yeah, follow all of us on the links below. Subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
On TikTok.
If y'all want to hit us up in our DMs, talk to us about the episode, that's great. All of us are welcome to that. You can tell us that we had terrible takes, and you can tell us we had great takes. Whatever, man. Just don't make videos about us and completely shit on us. How about that?
Or if you do, at least tag us in it.
Yeah.
So you can be the topic of the next episode.
Exactly. Yeah. You can, if you want any particular ideas or things discussed, put it in the comments too. So yeah, thanks guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace out, guys.